Good morning, welcome to Route 30 of my Wainwright challenge. I'm parked on a pull-in on the road to Illgill Head just before I get to Wastwater. The intention today is to walk up Barrow, Seaton and Middle Fell. Now I'm going to get back to the car and then drive up to Illgill Head if I've got time and try and get Illgill Head and Winrigg in this afternoon. So in the background you should be able to just about make out Barrow. That's the plan, time permitting. That's a better view of the underside of Barrow. We're heading steeply up this side here. I have to say it's another beautiful day in Cumbria. These last few days have been absolutely stunning. Fortunately it's my last day today, gotta go tomorrow. Very steep, as I say, this path. Seems to me that any hill with the name Barrow in it has been rather steep. So I'm just looking over the other side of the valley, end of Wastwater there, and that's Illgill Head and Winrigg. Now hopefully if we get time we'll be doing them this afternoon. Just got to get these three out of the way this morning. I've just crossed the burn and we're heading the Barrow over there. So I think I can see the first proper view of the top over there. Very craggy. I suspect the path nips around the side and will ascend from the rear, as it were. Oh, here we are at Barrow. Wow, look at this. That's Sellafield over there in the background. Seaton, where we're off next. And that's Middle Fell over there. Wow. Now, well, there we go. I think we've got Scarfell Pike and Scarfell over there. That's Wastwater in the bottom, and they're two for this afternoon should we get round to them. So the plan is to meander our way up to that little cairn you can see on the brow of the shoulder, and then follow the shoulder up to the top of Seaton, and then we'll loop our way around there to Middle Fell, and then cut back down the side back to the car. Just need to point this out, this is a random cairn en route to the shoulder that I talked about. We're heading up to that outcrop of rock and then along the top. It's pretty certain this isn't Barrow, because Barrow's down there, although we are higher. You can see the cairn on the top of Barrow. I think this is just a random cairn in between. Nevertheless, if somebody knows better, let me know if this is Barrow. So that's that cairn I was telling you about on the top of the shoulder, and Seaton's up there, way up there. Now I can see a faint path heading up to the top, which we'll take, and hopefully we'll get some views of where we were the other day. I would imagine we'll get red pike and pillar maybe. We'll see. I have to say it's very nice walking on spongy grassy paths after after yesterday and how rugged it was all day. So it's making a bit of a respite really. Well, so far I suspect later on in the day it could get a tad rougher. So I can see a huge cairn ahead. I suspect it's got to be the top. So here we are, Seaton. Wow, got some views over there. I'm going to that trig point over there and pick out some views. So what have we got? That was haycock we did the other day. It all fell. So in the distance over there, right in the distance will be pillar, I suspect, and that'll be red pike. And this one in the foreground is Yarborough. So in the background that'll be Kirkfell and Great Gable, and then obviously we've got Scarfell Pike and Scarfell. Wow, what a vista. So we drop down to the col and then over Middle Fell, and then we'll drop back down to the road to the car. That's the plan anyway. I'm looking back at the descent of Seaton, and I have to say it was very, very, very steep. It's difficult to make out the path now with all the scars on the side, but very steep. Now we've started the climb up Middle Fell. Not as steep. So here we are, Middle Fell in all its glory. So Wastwater in the bottom, Illgill Head and Winrigg, which we'll attempt this afternoon, and that's Yarborough. If you remember, it was so steep. My mate who I did it with the other day has googled it since, and people are saying it's one of the toughest climbs in the lakes, believe it or not. We tried going straight up the edge there, across the top, and if you remember, a real scramble coming down. A fabulous hill. Wastwater in all its glory. So the path drops down to the bottom to Greendale, the cluster of houses down there. Then we're going to follow the lane back up to where we parked the car, probably half a mile, 3/4 of a mile back up the lane. So we're back at the lane, probably half a mile, 3/4 of a mile back up to the car. Good afternoon. So continuation of Route 30, let's call it 30A. I'm parked at the National Trust car park now, Wasdale Head, and I'm going to go up Illgill Head and Winrigg. As you can see, the climb over there, the side of Wastwater. So the Scarfell Pike up in the gods. So Christmas, I think just after Christmas I came up here, I did them, and then first walk in the new year I did Scarfell, if you remember, Lord's Rake. Same footpath, but today I'm heading that way. You can see the path following the wall. So the path so far is very well defined, very well walked, as you can see. I'm expecting it to be less defined higher up, but we'll see. So the path has turned into a grassy track, which is nicer underfoot. Now it's skirting up the side of this wall. Now I suspect that is not the top there. I think the top is way beyond. A long way to go yet. Looking across over there at Great Gable, and then the big U-shaped col up to Kirk Fell. God, it only seemed a couple of weeks ago I was up there, and we were kicking footholds in the snow getting over Great Gable. Unbelievable weather now. So we're crossing this stile now on continuing upwards. So that could be the top of Illgill Head. If not, it's very close. Wow, so there's a stone shelter here, but I don't believe this is the top. I believe the top is just over there at 609. I think we're at 603 here. Quickly look over there, so Seaton in the distance and Middle Fell in the foreground. So here we are, Illgill Head, 609 metres. Awesome, awesome. Now this is bizarre because this feels higher than over there. According to the OS map, it's 4 metres lower. I'd have sworn this was the top, but anyway, we've been to both, which is the main thing. We're heading off anyway, and we're heading over to Winrigg, which is over there, the distance, and then we'll retrace our steps back down to the car park. So out and back this one. Wow, look at that. That's Wastwater in the bottom down there. It must be sheer these sides. That cairn you can see over there marks the top. Not far now. It's a fair way back though, isn't it? So here we are, Winrigg. Now then, look at that, you can see the sea out there. You know, I'm not sure whether that's the top over there. There seems to be a spot out over there, but this on the map is circled as though it's higher, so I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to go to both. So I think this is the top, Winrigg. Wow, look at that view. Look at that view. Stunning. Stan's enjoying the cold water in that time. Been a warm day today, despite March. Illgill Head there for the second time. Then a long steep descent back to Illgill Head. So we're on the plateau of Illgill Head, just past the cairn which I thought looked like the top. The person stood over there, and what the map suggests is the top. There we go. So there we go, there's the car park, Illgill Head. That's a fair descent. Let's go for it. Hi, and welcome to routes 30 and 30A, I guess, of my Wainwright challenge. Today's Wednesday the 23rd of August. I'll start with a morning walk where I parked in a lay-by underneath Barrow on the road to Wastwater. So free parking in the morning. It seems to be anything with the Barrow at the end of it, any named hill, seems to be a short, punchy, steep climb, and this didn't change my opinion on that. Let's say it was still quite short and punchy. Great little climb, offering some fabulous views. Quite rocky at the top. The gradient did ease, I have to say, after the initial shock, let's say. So it was quite comfortable, the final third of the climb. And then you're on quite big, sweeping, open, grassy fell sides, which was quite a relief after yesterday. It was quite a nice path up to a cairn at the top of the shoulder, and then you follow the huge fell side, following a path all the way to the top of Seaton. Very comfortable, very nice gradient, very easy walking, fabulous climb. Hi, so we seem to have had a problem with the video, so I need to finish the second half of this summary. We're at the top of Seaton, which was a nice steady walk up the grassy slopes, I seem to remember. But then the coming off of Seaton, the path became extremely steep. I do remember it being extremely steep, dropping down to the coal between Seaton and Middle Fell. That much so, I remember thinking, I'm glad I did the walk this way around. The walk up Middle Fell was nice steady meandering path up through the various rocks and crags. Very nice path, not overly long, and there's some superb views from the top of Middle Fell. Now I remember feeling that the walk off of Middle Fell back down to the car seemed to take an age. I couldn't, it was like I hadn't realised how much climbing and ascending we'd done. Steep in places, again, fantastic walk, great views. So it was only 6.5 mile round, and it took me around about 3.5 hours to do the first part of the walk. It gave me plenty of time to move the car down to Illgill Head, which was a paying car park. I think it cost me £6 for 4 hours, which took me on to the second part of the day, which was Illgill Head and Winrigg. Now it's a steady path, leaving the car park, very steady path, and then it starts to climb, and I remember it climbing relatively steeply and not letting up pretty much all the way to the top of Illgill Head. There are a couple of cairns at the top of Illgill Head, so to actually find the real top, I checked the spot height on the map, and it's the less prominent cairn, let's say, of the couple that you choose from. There is one on the horizon which looks an awful lot higher, but not according to the map, and when you do get there and look back, the real top was the more insignificant cairn, let's say. Great paths after this. It's rolling, grassy, nice gentle descent around a tarn, and then a nice climb up to Winrigg. Now again, Winrigg was difficult. There's various tops on Winrigg. I think there was 2 definite cairns, and the spot height on the map just seems to be insignificant and lower than the cairns on Winrigg. I went to all 3. I'd like to say there's great views of Wastwater, but it only came in view now and again on the ridge walk. But you can see across to the morning walks, so it was just nice, a nice walk. Now, surprisingly, when you add the 2 together, the day was 14.5 miles, and there was a massive 5,035 feet of ascending, which didn't really feel that way to me. And I was walking for a total of 7.5 hours.